I tell you, Magic Johnson has 20 assists. None prettier.
One line. They're picking the Lakers high. Pass it.
For his 10th point, and the Bucks are going to call time.
Most rookies get humbled, but Michael Jordan didn't even blink. Just 18 games into his career, he stepped into the Forum, the hometown fortress of the Showtime Lakers, and stared down two gods of the game, Kareem Abdul Jabbar and Magic Johnson. Then he did the unthinkable: guard Magic, attack Kareem in the paint, go toe-to-toe with Michael Cooper, one of the league's fiercest defenders. This game wasn't about learning the ropes or earning his stripes. It was about making a statement. And after that night, the Forum would never forget his name. The 1984 Lakers weren't just a good team, they were the team to beat. Magic Johnson, the face of Showtime and the league's ultimate floor general. Kareem Abdul Jabbar, the already NBA's all-time leading scorer. Still unstoppable at age 37, Showtime basketball was a spectacle, fast, flashy, unbeatable. 36 home wins, a stacked roster, a powerhouse in purple and gold. And then came Chicago, a 9-9 team with no real stars, except one, a 21-year-old rookie from North Carolina. No one expected him to shine that night, but Jordan had a plan. He was there to announce himself, past, present, future, all on one floor, and that future was about to go off. He hadn't even been number one in the draft, but 2 months into the season, he was already considered the number one favorite to win the Rookie of the Year award. Michael Jordan proved to be special from the first time he stepped on the hardwood. In the 9th game of his career against the San Antonio Spurs, he dropped 45 points and 10 rebounds. A week later, he dropped 34 and 35 back-to-back against the Pacers and the Bucks. So his path was not like the rest. As soon as his career began, the defenses were already focusing on him. They paid more attention to him than anyone else on the court, even if he was just a rookie. And this wouldn't have been a problem if the rest of the team had been up to the task. I mean, there was a reason why Chicago had obtained the 3rd pick in the draft the previous season. They weren't very good. The supporting cast surrounding rookie Michael Jordan was far from competitive. Orlando Woldridge was a good scorer, but he was incapable of becoming a floor raiser. Quentin Daly was a great 6-man, but that was kind of useless if the team lacked enough firepower in its starting 5. And apart from big man Steve Johnson, no other Bulls player averaged at least 10 points that season. With a slightly above average offense and a defense well below average, Chicago could only dream of a playoff spot at the end of the season. In other words, the Chicago Bulls were far from being a contender, even more so in the era of the Los Angeles Lakers' reign. Because the Showtime Lakers were the team to beat. They were the best. Not only had they won 2 rings in the last 4 seasons, but they had done so in an unquestionable fashion. Their unique philosophy based on creativity and magic enchanted the fans every night at the Forum. And their arena became an invulnerable fortress in which the Lakers would win 36 of the 41 games they played that season. Led by Magic Johnson, the director who orchestrated the offense of a legendary team, and Kareem Abdul Jabbar, who still continued to wreak havoc on all the big men who stood in his way, the Lakers were incredibly good. That season, they would end up getting the best offensive rating in the entire league, while their defense ranked 7th. Not only that, but they would end up with a record of 62 wins and only 20 losses. But although they didn't know it, there was a regular season game against the Chicago Bulls that would be much more important than they thought. December 2nd, 1984. The Bulls were already in Inglewood, California, where they played the mighty Lakers. Their 9-9 record was quite different from the 12-6 of the purple and gold, and the bookmakers knew perfectly well who was the clear favorite to take the win. But Michael Jordan, he took to the court with a desire to prove himself. It was time to show off against 2 of the greatest legends in NBA history. This wasn't just a game. It was also a meeting of eras. The past, the present, and future of basketball all on one floor. Kareem, Magic, and now this rookie from North Carolina. No one realized it at the time, but this night, in this building, the next dynasty quietly took its first step. The players on both teams knew it. The Lakers were perhaps overconfident. The Bulls were out for blood. But no player was more motivated that night than Michael Jordan. Kevin Loughery had given him an extremely difficult role, guarding Magic Johnson. But he played with intensity in every action. The same intensity he showed under the glass, in actions like this one, in which he manages an offensive rebound that he's then able to convert into 2 points. But moments later, Michael opened the scoring with a great basket that surprised the defense, driving hard from the right wing. Although he wasn't a playmaker yet, his vision of the game was starting to show. Check out this assist from the top of the key to Orlando Woolridge, who's able to score a running hook. At the end of the day, the Bulls were built around him, right? Well, that soon changed, because Michael continued to surprise everyone with plays like this. He gets trapped at the baseline, and it looks like it's going to be a turnover. But at the last moment, he throws a spectacular dime to Woolridge, which, however, is swatted hard by Kareem. Jordan was also beginning to show what his style would be like for the rest of his career, trying to use the mid-range and drawing fouls. But the Lakers were good, very good. Kareem, even if he was old, was still unstoppable. He could receive in the low post and score with his unstoppable hook. Both he and the Lakers were still displaying their incredibly colorful game, and during those phases of the game, they were dominating. So Jordan had to respond, and he did so with a drive from the right wing into his left hand. He was too fast. His first step, too infallible. And day after day, the NBA was beginning to take notice. His defensive intensity was enormous, disrupting everything. First he recovers the loose ball, then he brings it up and goes into attack mode. There comes a moment when he seems to have run out of options, but then he surprises with a pump fake that deceives the defense to find the space to shoot and score. Shortly after, MJ penetrates hard from the left corner and manages to draw the foul. It seems that the Lakers defense couldn't stop him without using extreme physicality, as they wouldn't even let him receive the rock in the low post. What's more, on the other side of the court, Michael was also pushing hard. Like in this play, where he gets a great block on Michael Cooper just before halftime. After 24 minutes, the Lakers had dominated for most of the game. But at the end of the second quarter, the Bulls got a good run that allowed them to go just 3 points behind on the scoreboard. Jordan was having a very solid performance against a legendary team. But would it be enough to take the win? If you want to beat a team like that, being solid is never enough. Michael knew he needed more, so he worked hard to achieve it in the second half. He did everything possible off the ball to get open, and when he did, the Lakers were practically obliged to foul him. Just afterwards, he draws multiple defenders when receiving the ball. After a great pump fake, he makes a great pass to Dave Greenwood, who nevertheless misses the shot. It wasn't just the athleticism, it was how calculated he was. Even as a rookie, Jordan didn't take dumb shots. His footwork was precise, his pump fake surgical. He wasn't just trying to score, he was solving the game in real time. But Jordan was also realizing that if he wanted to achieve something, he would have to make it happen himself. So on the next play, he receives about 15 feet away to knock down the jumper in Cooper's face. His confidence was admirable. Jordan and Magic continued to fight each other in every action. Mike wanted this game to serve as a message. He had arrived. But not just against Magic. He was also showing his active hands against Kareem. His fighting spirit was demonstrated in every action. In this play, he takes the offensive rebound from among the crowd of big players and then scores a basket of a good degree of difficulty. And of course, he was still giving Cooper nightmares. Driving, getting to his spot, and then knocking down the jumper with incredible ease. Jordan also loved finding his spot off the ball. In this play, he goes behind the screen and then drains the midi on a catch and shoot, a very important clutch basket that puts the Bulls one up with very little time left on the clock. Without a doubt, the most important basket of his short NBA career up to that point. After several stops, the Bulls maintain their lead, but the ball is for the Lakers. They're going to have one last chance to win the game in front of their fans. But then, Magic misses from the mid-range. The Lakers retain the ball again with 6 seconds on the clock and have a new last chance, as if the basketball gods wanted them to win that game. This time it's Kareem who throws the skyhook for the win, but he misses. Chicago has won, 113 to 112. Michael, he had done it. Not that this was what the fans in the Pac Forum were expecting. They didn't expect a team with championship pedigree to fall to a rookie, so they were disappointed, even angry. But time would eventually show them that the player they were up against was incredibly special. He wasn't just any rookie. He was the man destined to become the most famous athlete in the history of the sport. Jordan didn't even need to wait for his sophomore season to demonstrate his potential, because his performances were improving in a matter of weeks. Barely 2 months in, it wasn't even a debate. Michael Jordan wasn't just leading the Rookie of the Year race. He was rewriting what that title meant. But in his first season in the league, Michael already had the impact of a superstar. With averages of 28.2 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists per night, with an incredible 52% from the field, Michael finished 6th in the MVP race. He was the rookie with the highest scoring average since Kareem, his opponent for the Lakers that night, who achieved a higher record in 1970. And not only that, Michael, despite being a rookie, was so popular that he was selected to play in the All-Star game just a few months in pro basketball. Meanwhile, the Showtime Lakers achieved their goal that season. They managed to beat the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals to be crowned champions for the 3rd time in the Magic era. They were still the best team, the most dominant, the most attractive. A group of players who only lost 5 games at home that season. But one of those losses came at the hands of someone different. A 21-year-old rookie who dreamed of one day playing on a team as dominant as the Lakers. Who could have known that this young man from North Carolina wouldn't just live that dream, but build a dynasty that would even surpass the mighty Showtime. Years later, Jordan would win 6 titles, 5 MVPs, and take the crown from every king that came before him. But it started here. Not with a championship, but with belief. A belief that what they witnessed that night wasn't just a great performance, but the rise of the greatest athlete of all time. So when did it hit you? When did Michael Jordan go from being great to the greatest? Was it this game against the Showtime Lakers? Or was it a moment only you remember? Drop your GOAT moment in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. If you live for legendary breakdowns, epic rivalries, and the moments that made basketball history, subscribe to First 5 Hoops and join a community of real basketball fans. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with all our latest content. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.